Um, so, Luis, this is mostly for you, but if anybody else is watching, the first 4 questions are just basically what we did before. Our little review. All right, so you definitely need a calculator. You're going to need a calculator eventually. So here's my little story, right? What's happening? M, my variable, is being, we're subtracting 13, and the inverse operation is going to be plus 13. So I do plus 13 on this side and plus 13 on this side. Now this is my left side and my right side. So the minus 13 and the plus 13 becomes 0, and I am left m. This m on the left side. And here, 9 plus 13 is 22. Let's check if this is really the answer. So instead of m, I'm going to put 22. Subtract 13. Don't leave your check like this. The check should be 9, 22 minus 13, which is 9, equals 9 on the right side. And that's how you should leave your check. Next one, my variable is g. I'm adding 25. So the inverse operation I'm going to do is going to be minus 25. So, okay, let's do that. So minus 25 here, minus 25 here. 25 and minus 25 is just 0, which leaves me with g. That should give me 55. Let's check. And instead of g, I'm going to replace it with 55. And it's 55 plus 25. Is that really 80? And we know 55 plus 25 does equal 80. So our solution is correct. All right, so that again, basically what we did before the break. You have 2 more. And here we have a over 2. So here's my variable a, which is being divided by 2 right now. So the inverse operation I'm going to use is going to be times 8. Sorry, times 2. Ooh, where the 8 come from? Times 2. So again, divide my equation 2 sides, left and right. So I'm going to multiply the right side by 2 and the left side by 2. 8 times 2 is 16. Now here, this is 2 over 1. So if we multiply this, we can, simplify before multiplying. And 2 divided by 2 is just 1. And 1 times a is just a. So let's check. Replace the a with 16. And 16 divided by 2 is indeed 8, which equals the 8 on the right side. My variable is m, which is currently being multiplied by 12. The inverse operation I'm going to do here is divide by 12. So on the left side, I'm going to divide that by 12. So I'm going to use the fraction. And then 60, I'm also going to divide by 12. So 12 divided by 12 is 1, right? And 1 times m is just m. So m is all by itself. And 60 divided by 12 is 5. So if we check, I'm going to replace the m with 5. So 12, replace the m, but multiply by 5. And 12 times 5 is really 60. And that proves that our solution is correct. So, and then that's what we did. So a little review. And what we did today was, now these equations here, we're going to, you need to know what reciprocals are. So let me just, before we even attempt this, so 2/3. The reciprocal of 2/3, okay? Reciprocal. The reciprocal of 2/3 is 3 over 2. Why is the reciprocal of 2/3 3 over 2? Well, because when you multiply them, 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 over 6, 6 divided by 6 is just 1. So when you multiply a fraction or a number by its reciprocal, you will always get 1. Let me pick another one. 1 over 9. What's the reciprocal of 1 over 9? Well, the reciprocal of 9 is going to be 9 over 1. Well, if you multiply the 2 fractions, 1 times 9 on the numerator is 9. Denominator, 9 times 1 is 9. And what's 9 divided by 9? Equals 1. So anytime you have a number, so let's say 2. What's the reciprocal of 2? Well, the reciprocal of 2 is going to be, well, first of all, we can put this 2 over 1. And the reciprocal of 2 is going to be 1 over 2. If you multiply this, you're going to get 2 times 1, which is 2. And at the bottom, 1 times 2, which is 2. And what's 2 divided by 2? Equal 1. Okay? A number times its reciprocal will always give you 1. Okay, and that's what we're going to use to solve these fractions, we're going to use the reciprocal. So here's my story. Letter T. Right now, there's a little dot there. Don't forget, it's being multiplied by 1 over 7. Now, I know the inverse operation of multiplication is division. So we truly are dividing by 1 over 7, right? So I could write divide by 1 over 7, but what's division? Well, division, we can change that, right? So remember, dividing is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal, right? Multiplied by reciprocal. So 1 over 7, we could have written divide by 1 over 7, but that really means multiply by 7 over 1, multiplied by its reciprocal. So that's what we're going to do here. So we're going to multiply this by 7 over 1. So, 7 over 1. And on the right side, I'm going to multiply by 7 over 1. Now 7 over 1 is just 7. So over here, we can simplify before we multiply. This 7 and this 7 crosses, and this 7, this simplifies to 1. So I have T left over. And on the right side, what's 3 times 7 over 1? Well, 3 times 7 is 21, right? And so let me just do that a little bit bigger. If you multiply, right, if you put this over 1, 3 times 7 is 21. 1 times 1 is 1. And what's 21 over 1? It's just 21. So in this case, you don't have to multiply the bottom. So my answer is T is 21. Well, let's see if that's really true. So 1/7 times 21, I'm replacing T with 21. Is that really 3? Well, you can do that in your calculator. 1/7 times 21. What's 1/7 of 21? And that is really 3. You'll get the hang of it. 4/5. Okay, so let me just put this again. We have 4/5. Oops, here ends my variable. It's being multiplied by 4/5. Now, because it's a fraction, right? I'm going to divide by 4/5, which is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal, which is 5 over 4. So that's what I'm going to do to both sides. I'm going to multiply this by 5 over 4. Multiply this by 5 over 4. Now, 5/4 times 4/5, they all simplifies to 1, 1, 1, right? And now I have n left over. Now, 8 times 5 over 5, 8 times 5 over 4, it's going to be 40 over 4, which what's 40 divided by 4 simplifies this to 10. So 4/5 times n equals 8. So 4/5 times 10 equals 8. So you can do this in your calculator, or you can do it right here. So 4/5 times 10, well, 4 times 10 is 40. 40 divided by 5 is 8. And that proves our solution is correct. Here's my variable x. And it's being multiplied by 1/9. The reciprocal of 1/9 is 9 over 1, and that's what we're going to multiply both sides. So multiply this side by 9 over 1. Multiply this side by 9 over 1. Well, this is all going to simplify nicely to just 1s, right? 1, 1, 1, 1. And 1 times x is just x. On the other side, 6 times 9 over 1 is just 54. So copy the original equation, and I'll replace the x is 54. And what's 1/9 of 54? Well, 1 times 54. So if you're here, let me just do it a little bit. I'll put that 54 over 1. 1 times 54 is 54. 9 times 1 is 9. And what's 54 divided by 9? So this whole thing becomes 6. Oops. Do we do that one? No, we didn't do that. So 3/5 of a. So again, variables a. It's being multiplied by 3/5. It's a fraction. I'm going to use the reciprocal of that, which is 5 over 3. So I'm going to take, and sorry, I keep forgetting. So I'm going to multiply this side by 5 over 3. Multiply this side by 5 over 3. Now, what does that accomplish? Well, first of all, this 5 and this 5 simplify to 1. This 3 and this 5 simplifies to 1. And all that gets simplified to 1. And 1 times a is just a. So I get my a isolated, right? There's nobody next to the a. Now on the other side, 6 times 5 is 30, divided by 3 is 10. So 3/5 of a equals 6. Let's see if that's true. 3/5 times 10 equals 6. And if you multiply 3/5 times 10, what's 3 times 10? It's 30 divided by 5, 6. And we know our answer is correct. All right, next, same thing, nothing changes. So we have m, which is currently being multiplied by 3/10. And the reciprocal of 3/10 is 10/3, so I'm multiplying both sides by 10/3. So I'm going to take this, multiply by 10/3, take this, multiply by 10/3. Oops, my line in the middle. So now you're welcome to use your calculator. Let's do the easy side where the m is. So 3 and 3 simplifies to 1, 10 and 10 simplifies to 1, and I have m left over. On the right side, I have 10 times 2 over 3 times 3. So 10 times 2 is 20. 3 times 3 at the bottom is 9. So your calculator will probably leave your answer, let's say 2 times 9 goes in 22 times and 2/9. Your calculator will probably give you your answer in this format as a mixed number. So now we're going to take that, 2/3 times, equals, what is this? I can't see that number. 3/10 is 3/10 times m. We're going to replace, so 2/3 times 3 equals 3/10 times m, and the m we found the value that is 2 and 2/9. So take a moment and multiply in your calculator. In your calculator you have a fraction function. Right, you can enter the fraction, the yellow calculator, so that's nice. Okay, so I don't have, well, I do have a yellow calculator, but I'm going to do it the long way. So 3/10 multiplied by 2 and 2/9, but instead of 2 and 2/9, I'm going to replace that with 20/9 because that's easier for me. I'm going to multiply 3 times 20 is 60, 10 times 9 is 90, divide by 10, divided by 10, and then divide by 2, divided by 3, 6 divided by 3, 6 divided by 3 is 2, 9 divided by 3 is 3. Okay, I get 2/3. So you can either do it this way, or you can use your calculator. Next one, we have c as our variable. Being multiplied by 1/4. So the reciprocal 1/4 can be 4/1. So we're going to multiply both sides by 4/1. So on the right side, well, everything simplifies, right? 2, 1, and 1 times c is just c. On the right side, if I multiply this, I get 4 times 4 on the top, which is 16, and 15 on the bottom times 1 is 15. So you can, calculator will probably give you the answer 16/15 or 1 and 1/15, either or. We're gonna copy the original equation. 1/4 of c equals 4/15. 1/4 of c, which is 1 and 1/15, equals 4/15. So you're gonna have to verify this in your calculator to see if it's true. Okay, so you can enter that and multiply 1/4 times 1/15. See if you get 4/15. Now I don't have a calculator, so I'm gonna multiply here. So 1/4, and I'm not gonna use 1 and 1/15. I'm gonna use this version, 16/15, which is the same thing. I can simplify before I multiply. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 16 divided by 4 is 4. 1 times 4 is 4 on the top, and 1 times 15 at the bottom is 15. So that it's actually correct. Okay, so if you have a calculator, you can use it. Where are we? Here. So y is my variable. It's being multiplied by 2/5. The reciprocal of 2/5 is 5/2. So let's multiply both sides by 5/2. Times 5/2. Times 5/2. On the left side, this all simplifies to 1. And 1 times y is y. On the right side, I get 4/5. 4 times 5 on the top is 20. 15 times 2 at the bottom is 30. And that simplifies to 2/3. So 2/3, or what is this? 2/5. 2/5 of y equals 4/15. So 2/5, what's y? 2/3, right? Equals, this should equal 14/15. Well, 2 times 2 on the top is 4. 5 times 3, something is wrong here. Oh, this is not 14, sorry, I copied them. So this should be 4/15. 4/15, 4/15, 4/15. So 2 times 2 on the top is 4, and then 5 times 3 at the bottom is 5. So left side equals right side. Variable is p, which is which being multiplied by 3/7. The inverse operation is going to be divide by 3/7, which is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal, which is 7/3. So we're going to multiply this by 7/3, multiply this by 7/3. That all simplifies to just p. On this side, we get 24 times, 24 times 7, and then divide that by 3, or we can do 8, that gives you 56. Okay, so, I can't see. Then we're gonna check. It says 3/7 times p, a number that I don't know, it's 24. 3/7 of p, which I just found, is 56, equals 24. Is that true? Oh yeah, it is. Okay. And the last one, 3/8. If I take 3/8 of a number, I get a half. Variable is m, being multiplied by 3/8. So the inverse operation is divide by 3/8 or multiply by 8/3. So I'm going to divide by 8/3 times 8/3. These all simplify to just m, or 1m. Over here, I'm going to get 8/6, which is going to simplify to 4/3, which is going to simplify to 1 1/3. The calculator can have all three versions. So 3/8 of m, number I don't know, is a half. So 3/8, and so the value of m is 1 you can put whatever. Now check. So multiply 3/8 times 1 1/3. See if it's correct. So 3/8, and I'm going to use, instead of 1 1/3, I'm going to use this version here because that's easier. 3 times 8 is 12. 8 times 3 at the bottom is 24. If I divide both top and bottom by 12, I can simplify that to 1/2. So this is 1/2, and we know we're good. So that was pretty much it for today.